It's a terrible tragedy that is unfolding in front of our eyes. The earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria was the largest in the past 200 years, and it affected almost 13 million people. We have seen quite a significant loss of life and huge destruction of property. The search and rescue operations are still ongoing. We are hoping that we will be able to rescue more people. But unfortunately, with every passing hours, the chances are lower and lower. But we won't give up. We are doing the best we can because, as I said, the disaster is beyond anything we have seen. It has impacted many, many people, and it's just out of scope than everyone else could even imagine when they were planning for earthquakes. Also, Syria is the place that has suffered through wars, that has seen a lot of displacement, that has seen a lot of people building poor quality homes, but homes so they can just be away from the storm and cold, and all of these homes have collapsed. So we are now over 8,000 people that lost their life, and we are unfortunately expecting the number to rise more. And this is very close to Goal's heart as well, because we lost our staff and their entire families as well in this tragedy. So it is devastating.
You already work, of course, on the Turkish-Syrian border, so you're familiar with the refugee crisis that already exists there. What is your plan now to try to ramp up those services and deliver aid?
So we are ensuring that our staff, the ones that survive, are safe and families are safe. And it's such a powerful moment in time to see that our staff basically have secured their family and immediately volunteer to either help save their colleagues or start planning the response. So the human power and will is so tremendous in this hard moment that we are basically working with our teams right now to see what is the emergency that we can provide, the emergency need and cover, especially because the temperature is now going below zero. And we are trying together with them to see how we can get the assistance across the border, because the northwest of Syria is reliant a lot on assistance coming from Turkey, and a lot of the crossings were damaged in the crossing. So we're working with the Turkish authorities, we're working with UN and all the other relevant players in this field to actually move some humanitarian assistance across. So it's a huge endeavor. We're pushing beyond every limit. I mean, people are not, of course, they're affected. They're not sleeping in their cars, but people are pushing as much as they can to provide assistance to their fellow citizens and to everyone who is in need.
Alek, how many staff have you lost? Do you know yet?
The number is not confirmed until now, but we're talking about, for us, it lost a single life, a tragedy, but the number is high.
That's devastating for you and your colleagues, and of course for the people of Syria and Turkey to cope with the sheer scale of the crisis. I know President Erdogan has declared a 3-month state of emergency in the affected areas. He says that will help the relief effort. Will it?
It's very important that the Turkish authorities are doing a good job to coordinate the relief effort, because the scale of this is beyond anyone's ability to respond in very short time. So being able to provide assistance to the most needy one, being able to move and mobilize resources, being able to coordinate all of the assistance that is internally being collected and also coming from abroad is very important. So that leadership and that will to actually assist everyone and to reach the most remote villages is very, very important. So we are working together with the relevant authorities in Turkey to actually provide support to them. And they are doing an amazing job considering the scale of destruction, because every earthquake that struck before only impacted one city or one area. Now we're seeing 13 million people impacted and a huge, huge geography of destruction. So this is the best everyone can do considering the disaster that struck.
And you're battling the geography, as you say. You're battling, I suppose, too, the geopolitics of the region. But also, and most immediately, you're battling the weather, aren't you? And the infrastructure that has collapsed to try and just get the aid to people who need it.
Absolutely. If you take an imagination of a city of 500,000 people, where 60% of infrastructure is destroyed. So it's massive number of people sleeping in the streets. The needs are humongous throughout the area. So we're battling now the sub-freezing temperatures as well. And that's why we are running against the time to provide assistance to people, because the temperatures are going down. And for the next couple of days, it's going to be very cold, and people need warm blankets, people need food, people need shelter, and this is the number one priority for us. And this is where we are ramping our assistance together with all other NGO partners, government institutions, and UN to support the most needy one, because it's very difficult. As I said, the number of people is so big that it's very difficult to reach everyone, but we don't want to left anyone behind. So we're going to do everything possible to reach to everyone who needs assistance.
Syria was already battling an outbreak of cholera in some areas. Is there a worry now of a further spread of disease as people are homeless, living in tented accommodation with no sanitation?
There are multi-level risk. First and foremost, right now, there's no sanitation, lack of clean water. So we are afraid of cholera. And the second thing is that once the weather warms up, unfortunately, we have people under the rubble that also cause the potential risk. So Syria institutions, both sides of the government control area and the opposition control area are impacted by this earthquake. And we are afraid that there's going to be outbreak of cholera. So we are trying to work. As I said, we are doing the best we can to understand the needs and to provide assistance to people in emergency. But it's just the scale of this and the impact on all of us is shocking still. Even though it's the third day now, we are still shocked on the scale and level of destruction and the loss of life.
Something like 70 countries have now pledged aid to Turkey and Syria. What do you need most immediately from people in this country who would like to help?
First and foremost right now is basically cash, because we need to purchase warm blankets, we need to purchase food, we need to purchase materials. Imagine the earthquake striking at 4 a.m. and you run out of your house with nothing but the clothes on your back. So people lost everything, and this would take years to rebuild the country. But emergency assistance is winter materials, food, and water. If I can just send one message, if it's okay with you.
Certainly, please go ahead.
I just want every of your viewers and listeners to hug their families, kiss their loved ones, and send thoughts and prayers to us, because we really need it.